Good morning, everyone. Today's video is going to focus on medical laboratory technology here at Southeast Community College. And to help us with that, we got a friend here today. She is our Program Director of Medical Laboratory Technology, Lynette. How do I say this? Penites? Did I say it right?
Yep.
Penites? Okay.
Yep.
Wonderful. Lynette has been with the college about 10 years. It'll be 10 years October, she told me. And that means she spent the last, about half of her time has been since I've been president of the college. I came in 2014. And I have very fond memories of meeting Lynette. She's a very super positive person, and we're lucky to have her here. And we're lucky to have her for a few minutes to tell us about what's going on. I think it'd be great to hear, just tell us about the program in general, and then maybe some ways you guys are navigating this unusual time. But we're certainly going to get through this. And so I think anything you can tell us about the future of the program would be great as well. So I'll turn it over to you, Lynette.
Okay, sounds good. Well, our program is an associate degree program, 2 years, 24 months. So we do go through the summers. And when you graduate, typically where our graduates work is in a hospital or a doctor's office laboratory. So we're really a behind the scenes profession. I know some professions say that, but we truly are. When you go to the physician to get your testing done, you might see a phlebotomist collect a blood sample, or a nurse might collect a swab or something, but then it just kind of disappears. And then all of a sudden you have a result an hour later or a couple days later. Well, it disappears. It comes back to us. So the MLTs are highly trained. It's a very scientific field. I like to tell people it's the most sciencey of all the health sciences. And so they go through the 2 years, a lot of the body's physiology, pathophysiology, and then the science behind the testing. So it is a lot more than just putting a tube of blood on an analyzer and then getting a result. I like to tell people that we're the gatekeepers of the results, because we see the results before the physician does, and then we decide, is this a valid result that the physician should get? So I think we play a very important role in healthcare.
Well, before you continue, just one thing. I've been thinking and telling folks that, there's going to be a lot of opportunity that is going to come out of this unusual situation. And I think for community colleges, I think there's going to be an increase in demand in a number of areas. But I certainly am thinking that the health sciences, they're sort of some of the many different heroes of this current story. But certainly, I would think, medical lab technicians is going to become like the new CSI. I'm guessing. Is that fair, or do you think that's a bit of an exaggeration?
No, that's my hope too. I keep hoping that with people seeing the news and seeing the pictures of the test being ran, and knowing that not just anyone can run the test, that it does shed a nice light on the profession, and people are actually now maybe seeing that we do exist. That's one thing that we kind of struggle with, is getting the word out there about our program, about the profession, just because we rarely see the patient. But yet I think people need to realize that we care just as much as everyone else, and we are there giving quality results so then the patient can be diagnosed and treated. So yeah, that's kind of the hope that I have too.
Well, you think about the societal impact that, without this profession and these experts, we're doing all these massive changes as a society, social distancing, shutting down big parts of our economy, all based on projections, which are in turn based on the validity of the test that we're getting back. If the positives really weren't positive, or so forth, it's going to be a challenge.
Yeah,
it's very important position.
Yeah, it's interesting to be around our lunch table with the faculty when we talk, or when we do our Zoom meetings, and we hear about kind of what the news is saying, but then we talk about our side of it, the scientific, and what's the specificity and the sensitivity of the test, and just kind of the things that not everybody knows, but those in the field. And so, yeah, it's interesting, and hopefully it brings us to light.
Good.
Okay, what was I? Oh, so our job prospects are very high. We have 100% job placement in our program, so that's good. There's a shortage for lab techs, just like there's a shortage for nurses. Our lab techs, a lot of times our graduates, they may go out of the Lincoln area. We've had some for this graduating group. They've accepted, a couple of accepted jobs in Fremont, a couple in Omaha, Columbus. So they really are serving the whole area and not just Lincoln, which is nice. The transition to virtual has been interesting, but I think it's been exciting. We've been pretty lucky in where our students were when it happened. Our second years were in clinical, but they were right about halfway through, and we were able to show that they'd gained competency in their skills. And so when they were removed from clinical, we weren't too worried that they wouldn't have the skills they need to be entry-level technicians. So we were able to give them some assignments, some reverse case studies. So really looking at what would be going on with a person, having them build it based on their knowledge. So that was good. We're meeting with them once a month or once a week on Zoom, not once a month. They just took their big mock board of certification exam on Friday, and we had 5 faculty members proctoring it via Zoom. So it was a nice learning experience, but it went well, just a few hiccups at the beginning. And then our first years, they're in their intro course. And so we have moved all of their lectures online now, and they're doing some Zoom meetings and using some new software there. And then their labs are being simulated. So coming up with videos to show them, to really get them to know the theory of what's going on. But we're pretty happy because their intro class is just an introduction. So they'll be able to get those skills later in the program.
Well, Lynette, yesterday I had the opportunity. I did a tour of the new 82,000 square foot health science facility that will be open in October, and I believe, is it on the 3rd or 4th floor? Your new space?
4th.
4th. That space is phenomenal. I was just so impressed. The amount of sophisticated equipment that's going to go into that space is incredible, and the views are incredible. Wonderful light. I think the students are going to be inspired. Do you want to say something about the new facilities that will be open in the fall? Well,
yeah,
we'll start classes in 21, but
yeah, we're super excited, and I was lucky enough to help, go on some visits and see some other sites, and I think I can safely say the sites that we saw, we rival them, if not beat them all. We were able to be involved in the design from the get-go, and then we tried to design it a little bit differently than some of the labs that we had seen, just to give it more of a feel where it is like an engaged learning area, trying to make the students more involved, trying at the same time to make it more like a hospital laboratory like you would really see. So yeah, we're thrilled. We're super excited. I'd move in tomorrow if I could.
Good. While this sort of current situation has pushed us to try to move things online and use some different technologies, it certainly has also reminded us how important it is to have the ability to interact in a personal way, make those personal connections, and be in a proper space for learning. We're getting through this. We're going to do great, but if not, in my mind, it's just reinforced how important your spaces are for learning.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else before we wrap it up, Lynette, that you want to mention?
I just want to, say how proud I am of the team that I work with, of Leah, Tiff, Ahmad, myself, Jill, our adjunct Jody, and then our students. I mean, we have a great batch of students. Our second year students who are about to graduate, they went through the semester transition and then now this. And I've sent a couple emails to clinical sites and employers just saying, these guys are going to be more prepared, I think, than we've ever seen. They've just overcome such adversity, and they've done it positively. And I think they're just going to be a real benefit.
Well, that's wonderful. I say that a lot, that adversity allows us to create, innovate, and become stronger. You've been great at this. I'll wrap it up, but thank you so much for spending a little time with us, and we will see you later, Lynette, and goodbye to everyone. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.
Thanks.